think I'm still working on it, right? I don't think that it's like ever a done deal. Like for one, because we do switch jobs kind of often within administration. So everywhere you go needs something different, and trying to figure that out is hard. I think I said it in a staff meeting the other day. So you know how we switched up, the district switched up when the end of the semester is? Did you guys recognize this? I sent it home. So your end of your semester is now right before Christmas break. I like that. I'm good with that. It's done. So when you come back, it's not like we have 2 random weeks left. We just move on to the second semester. It's hard for semester teachers to be able to get everything done. You have assessment stuff that you have to do. I was a year-long teacher. It's not so hard. You just come back and you keep plugging away. But so figuring out how to communicate that is hard. Figuring out how to make sure that the staff has what they need is really hard. And so I told him the other day, the only thing I've done well this year is communicate to families that the semester ends in something different than it did before. I'm very concerned because if you don't show up for your exams, guess what? You get zeros. There's no like makeup time, okay? Now if it's excused absence, we'll work through, we'll figure out what to do. If somebody has, let's say somebody has mono, right? And they're out for weeks on end, we gotta figure out what to do. But other than that, if you don't come, you're getting 20% of your grade is a 0. So having to make sure that I was ahead of that and figure that out, like it's leadership ebbs and flows, but I was like, I think that's the only thing I've done well this year is communicating that one piece of information to people, right? So, yeah.
Do you see yourself staying at TIP long time?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I'm very happy here. I really enjoy the people who are here. I enjoy our students. It would be sad to like come and be gone. I don't know what the end number will be. I couldn't have seen, I was only in my last district for 2 years and in 2 different capacities. I hadn't intended on leaving, but I felt like this was an opportunity to be here and with you guys that like, I didn't want to pass up. I don't have that like itch to go somewhere else. I'm gonna start my doctorate this summer, and so I'd like to be able to stay in one continual place so that I can get through that. It's a 3-year program, so it'd be nice to have one consistent thing so I can add the other consistent thing. Yep.
How do you use leadership more like in your job? Because do you start to become like more a leader in your personal life with like family and friends?
Probably, like my husband every once in a while will be like, so can you take the principal voice out of it for a second? You know, because something will happen and it'll be a very like, this is what needs to happen. So I was at a football game, my kids' football game, because they don't go here, a year or 2 ago. And so my daughter was on academic decathlon, and one of her like classmates fell and broke his arm up here on the metal railing. And I'm looking like, why is nobody running to him right away? And so then I ran, I told kids, you call mom, you call 911, you get the athletic trainer, somebody get the principal, because I need him to come over here so he knows, because you've got to like document stuff as a principal. And I was mad that nobody else helped. But then like at some point, I'm not sure that other people know what to do in those situations, right? Like that's kind of a principal thing to take care of. And so then I walked back up to my husband, he's like, job hazard? Like, is that what you do, you know, when you see situations happen? But I think you take more ownership of things that do happen kind of out and about. Like if I see a kid riding their bike by themselves or something really strange is happening in my neighborhood, like with a person walking down the street, I become very aware of like the kids who are there and what's happening, and like I'm going to step in if I need to step in, and I'm not afraid to do that at this point. And my husband, who's an engineer, he understands my expectation of him, stand over there, I will take care of it. Because I go into that more principal mode than just leadership. It's like a protecting kid mode, I think is a little bit, becomes the automatic. Yeah.
Were you ever in a situation that someone else was the leader?
Oh, sure. I mean, I am now, right? Like everybody's always got a boss of some sort. So I think in every situation, yes. Even like when you're a teacher, there are leaders, whether they have appointed leadership roles or not. Like, there's always people who are leaders within the building. Same thing for you guys. I mean, you have student senate, you have other things where people are going to have some type of leadership role, where they're either making decisions or getting people together in order to come together for a certain purpose. Like, that's leadership. It doesn't just have to be because you have a title, right? It's going to be because of the way that you're able to get people to move in a certain direction. I think that's the ultimate leadership. Yep.
Are you glad you took the opportunity to come up with this?
I am. I think everything, like I said, everything's a learning opportunity. I think you have to be willing to see things like that. It's an interesting place to be. It's been an interesting time in order to be here. It was really interesting actually to come after a pretty tumultuous year. Do you know what that word means? Tumultuous? Difficult, right? Like, things were kind of a little chaotic, I think, for the staff at the end of the year, to say the least. And to be able to come in and, like, I'm coming in on a really weird spot for them where I'm ready to go, and they're in a spot where they came in and saw empty classrooms, right? Like, teachers weren't here. And I needed to take a step back in order to say, I have to temper my excitement a little bit, because they are still in a hard place. And so that was an interesting new kind of experience to work through. I wish it hadn't been that way. I wish we could have come in, because I think that it would have been a different, let's start, let's go. But I think that's where the leadership piece comes in, is you have to be willing to recognize it and acknowledge it, right? Yep.
How do you use leadership to try to like fill Mr. I think it's like Mr. Barnes' shoes? Or
So I don't really know exactly what his shoes were, right? Like, what were his initiatives? You guys were here. What were his initiatives?
That, it changed from when he first got here.
Okay.
Because when he first got here, there was like one big issue that like he tried to focus on,
Okay.
which was like our dress code.
Oh,
He
It-
battled that for like the whole
Yeah.
first
and then you make
semester.
yourself sad, but yeah.
Yeah, and then like, it just kinda like, everybody adjusted to it. And
Sure.
it was whatever he needed to focus on for like that week or that month. It was that's all he focused on.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, you know what our initiative is with the staff, right? And that's about engagement. When Senate met with me over the summer, their big thing is they really do want for students to like be involved and do stuff, right? So when I asked the question about Halloween, why not? Right? Like, dress up, be here. If you're going to be here, you might as well make it fun. There's no reason why you can't do that. You know what the rules and expectations are, right? Like, I don't want somebody to come in some outfit that is completely inappropriate. In the newsletter that I sent out last week, it was like, yes, wear costumes. No, you can't have any type of weapon or a look-alike weapon. No, you can't have your face covered with a mask. But do that, like, be in the now. That's what Senate wants, and I want to support them of that, because it's not my place to change, it's your place to change. Like, that's really the key. And you have people, you have students who are leaders in your building who do want for things to happen. And so if you guys aren't banding together, then we need to figure out how to get you to do that. It is hard when a lot of your quote-unquote leadership, which tends to be our upper grade students, when you don't have a lot of them in the building, it's not the same. That makes things really hard. It's nice to have that a little bit more, and so I think navigating that is tough. So I don't look at it as filling his shoes, because I'm not sure what that really means. I just have to be me and be able to hear what people are looking for us to be able to do and move forward with that.
Any last questions? Because it's almost time. We have the last 3 minutes. Right?
Anything that isn't leadership question?
Oh.
Yes.
how do you use work ethic as well?
Oh, no. No.
Go ahead.
Where do your kids go to school?
Oakwood. Yeah.
Completely off topic, why did you take away like ordering food from high school?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That
Sorry.
wasn't her, that was like, we've never been allowed to order food.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have no idea.
I swore you did.
Okay.
What's different about like the exams this year?
Different about the exams. So I'm not sure, because I don't know exactly what they were before. So one thing is, we're gonna have you guys give us slips of paper. So if you don't need to stay for study hall, we just need your parents to like fill out this slip. Those have existed before. We just need like record that you came and went. Lunch isn't completely open. It doesn't mean you can't leave for lunch, but we just need the thing that your parents signed off saying that you can go. We're gonna do them in, it's 3 days. We'll do 3 exams, 2 exams, 2 exams with some makeup time in the end.
To the end of it,
Yeah, so I don't think it's drastically different. The only difference is just an accountability piece, I think, of
So, like,
knowing that you're leaving.
after you finish the exams, if you have like a piece of paper signed, you're good to just.
After the period's over.
After the,
Yeah.
That's what I mean, yeah, like after like.
Yeah,
the
you,
testing
yeah,
period.
we'll just do the slip of paper.
Okay.
Yeah, so it should be easy. It's probably gonna be harder on our end, just to make sure we get all the papers and know who's coming and going.
I'm like, is that
Are you still gonna like learn stuff in classes that you'll miss?
Sorry, what?
Are you still gonna like miss classwork? Like if you were to like go for an exam, but you still have like 6 or 7 periods.
We won't. We will only have exams. We don't have classes. We just have 3 longer, like 90-minute exam periods the first day, 90-minute exam second day with the makeup at the end, if
And then
anybody
the
missed their
study hall
test.
and lunch.
We do have study halls and lunches, and you have to stay unless you have that paper that your parents signed saying that you're able to leave.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay.
From all your past jobs, which one was your favorite?
I don't know yet. I don't think I've been here long enough to determine if this is my favorite.